In this lecture, we'll discuss regarding animal rights and the very law relating to animals' welfare and protection and those important landmark judgments delivered as precedents. So, the very introduction relates to legal personality of animals, then the constitutional provisions as we found under the fundamental duty as provided under Article 51A, Clause G, and under Directive Principle of State Policy under Article 48A, then the very statutory provisions such as the enacted pieces of legislation, the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960, Wildlife Protection of 1972, and the statutory provisions relating to animals in Indian Penal Code under Section 428 and Section 429, then those important precedents that we would like to discuss in this important lecture relating to animals' rights. So, animals were not granted legal status as there can be difficulty in admissibility of evidence as may be contended by the legal faculty. But there is an interesting citation that we found in the work of Professor Sutherland in his Principles of Criminology, where he made reference to an interesting trial of rats in 1519, where the court rejected the defense and awarded a sentence of punishment. Even in ancient India, texts like Manusmriti of Manu was see instances we found there where animals were punished if they inflicted any harm to humans. Even in ancient Greek law, animals and trees were tried in courts of law. But in modern times, the master is vicariously liable for the act of an animal as the animal is not aware of the repercussions of its act, but the master is well aware and can very easily manage the problem. Even though animals do not have legal personality, we still have laws protecting them as they also face different problems in their day-to-day life. As such, cosmetic treatment on animals, painful life of stray dogs after the birth control procedure, testing of products on animals, then sexual violence on animals. So the very constitutional and statutory provisions as we would like to discuss, as provided under Article 51 Clause G, it is a fundamental duty added by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act in the year 1976, which states that it is the duty of every citizen to protect the natural environment, including forest, wildlife, and to have compassion towards living creatures. And further, Article 48A of the Directive Principles of State Policy states the duty of the state in protecting and safeguarding forest and wildlife of the country. As while under the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960, as it was. The main objective of the Act is to prevent unnecessary pain or suffering to animals and to amend laws relating to prevention of cruelty to animals. Further, under Wildlife Protection Act 1972, the very objective is to provide protection of animals and plants and to ensure ecological balance in the country. As under Indian Penal Code under Section 428, which provides punishment of up to 2 years, fine or both if someone causes mischief to any animal worth arrested or moved by maiming or poisoning of any animal. And further, Section 429 of Indian Penal Code, which provides regarding the mischief caused to any animal by poisoning or maiming where the animal is valued above rupees 50, which is punishable as an offense with up to 5 years of imprisonment, a fine, or both. So, in that connection, the very precedents established that we would like to discuss the first one, that is the landmark judgment delivered in Ojar Hossain versus Union of India. So, the Supreme Court in that particular case held that packaging of food, medicines, and drugs should contain red and green dots to indicate the origin of the products regarding the very use of animals. And in another important leading case, that is People for Ethical Treatment of Animals versus Union of India, where the Bombay High Court held that any movie wishing to use animals must receive a no objection certificate from the Animal Welfare Board of India. So, the very next important question, leading case or landmark judgment is relating to the Animal Welfare Board of India versus Nagraja. The very case raised concerns regarding the Jallikattu festival celebrated in the state of Tamil Nadu, where bulls are subject to cruelty like being given alcohol to make them aggressive for entertainment purposes. And this issue was raised on the very grounds of animal cruelty. And the next landmark judgment is Ajay Madhusudan Maratha versus New Sharvadhyas CHS Limited, where the Delhi Consumer Forum held that a housing society cannot prohibit a resident from having pets. And the last important landmark judgment is regarding Pettingal versus Pettingal. So, in this landmark case, the tester left a deed for the maintenance of horses and dogs for as long as they live. The court held that a trust for the benefit of animals can be made, and such a trust deed is valid and enforceable by law. And now we'll discuss about the recent steps taken by the government of India. So, the government of India ban on animal testing for cosmetic purposes in 2013, and it is a complete ban regarding testing of cosmetic products on animals. Further, in 2014, the government of India also banned the imports of cosmetics tested on animals. This made India the first South Asian country to impose a dual ban on domestic testing and foreign imports. Another recent development or step taken by Government of India regarding amending Rule 135B of the Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940. This also aligns with the very provisions of fundamental duty as laid down under Article 51A Clause G, which was inserted under the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976. So now we would like to conclude our very discussion relating to animals' rights. The statutory provisions relating to animals' rights and the constitutional provisions relating to animal rights and those landmark judgments and various laws for protection of animals have significantly shifted their status from being merely property of their masters to being capable of some rights for their protection. Further, courts also provide for limited legal status to animals even after interpreting Article 51A Clause G of the fundamental duty. In spite of that, under the law of tort, we found the very procedure that is regarding the responsibility and liability imposed on the master of the pet which caused any damage, and that is the master's vicarious liability, where the master would held liable in case of the animal causing any wrong, but the animal is as not having a legal personality, so the very master of the animal would be held vicariously liable.